Welcome to Ekati blog, KCC revision essay questions and answers. We study an analysis of A Man of Awesome Power by Naguib Mahfouz, which is contained in the collection of short stories known as A Silent Song. So this is a man who will be haunted forever by awesome sadness because he loses some ability that is God-given because of his imprudence. This story is written by an Egyptian, right? Of course, his name is Mahfouz Naguib. The protagonist is called Taib. He gets some divine power from God, but he loses it because of misusing it. It just slips through his fingers like a dream, and he regrets. And those are the characters in the book: Taib himself, Hania, the wife, and Suleiman. So the focus of this story is a lack of good judgment, misusing of opportunities, and rewards and punishments. So these are the key areas: self-actualization, the awesome power that he gets. He accepts the power. In the taxi, he punishes the taxi driver. He punishes that man on the bus fighting the woman, does some memorable services. He punishes the radio announcer, compels Suleiman to pay some taxes, and then goes ahead to do some more services as part of usage of the power. And then he decides to do some proper planning and awareness. And lastly, he has a surprise attraction to this very gorgeous woman, and this causes his miracle to go away. So this is a man that feels his mission in the world is complete. He lives in his own apartment in Nasser City, then all his daughters are married. He has nothing to do, just enjoying his evenings with the wife, reading newspapers, watching the TV, listening to radio. He's a Muslim, so radio dedicated to Quran. Then one night, of course, a man appears to him as an apparition or a ghost in a dream and says, from this moment onward, and as long as you live God as God wills, you shall have the power to tell something be and it will be. Do with it what you please. So he has the natural power. He forgets about the dream, but it keeps recurring and recurring. He keeps it as a secret from the wife. He's a religious man, a virtuous man, and he feels like changing the world. And finally, he has gotten this particular power. He tries to command the TV to switch on and off, or to change the channels. He commands the chairs to rise and leave the original position, and then he discovers that indeed he has some magical powers. So he decides that he was going to use these powers for good, to change the country and the planet for good. All right, so he feels like now his purpose in life is just beginning. Remember, he thought it had ended, but he feels like it's just beginning. So he has some generous, very good, kind-hearted plans. All right, and he knows that he has to help people, but sometimes he's overcome with negative emotions, just human emotions like anger, and they end up clouding his judgment. He punishes people who irritate him. For example, a taxi driver refuses to stop when he hails the taxi. Imagine, he decides to shatter the wheels, and this man almost has a terrible accident. In fact, before that, he thinks that he should make the driver have an accident. All right. He also goes ahead to punish a man on the bus who was arguing with a woman by causing him to have some very painful cramps. But on the good side, he performs some very good, memorable services. The ones that you see right there on your screen. And then he goes to a cafe. He has a radio announcer talking about the future development. Everybody is excited about how the city has changed because of Taib's actions. And he becomes so angry with this person that he punishes him with some incessant sneezing, that he sneezes and sneezes. And so he decides that if anybody says something that displeases him, he's going to make him either sneeze or have uncontrollable diarrhea. So the next miracle, of course, he does is compelling this person called Suleiman to pay his taxes. He had been evading paying taxes, but now he compels him, and this man goes and pays taxes, and he goes ahead to do other random good acts of kindness. But he feels like no, he needs to sit down and properly plan how to use his particular powers. So he says, I need a plan, a proper plan. Instead of just punishing people and rewarding people randomly, I need a proper plan so that I can change the country and change the world. So, but before that happens, he is derailed or distracted by a gorgeous woman, a very beautiful woman. This woman does not notice him. She's just minding her business. Then he just feels the passion, and then he uses his power to compel that woman to also kind of fall in love with him. And the two of them engulfed in this particular desire, passion, and ecstasy, and he forgets about his faith, he forgets about his life, he forgets about the huge mountainous task ahead of him. He says before repairing the world, he chooses to first repair or heal himself, and that is when he loses his magical power. He tries to change the TV channels using his mind, and it does not happen. And the book ends when the author says, pleading is pointless, distress is useless, regret has no effect, an awesome sadness will haunt Taib for as long as he lives. And these are some of the awesome powers that he had: switching the TV channels, ordering the chairs, shattering the wheels, striking the man with severe cramps, filling the gaping potholes, locking the electrical box, removing the pile of rubbish, draining the sewer water, making that particular broadcaster ill, compelling Suleiman to pay the taxes, the other services in the different places, and charming the gorgeous woman. But before that, he had very good plans. Look at some of the plans he had. He obtains some documents from the official bureaucracy, production and services, the People's Assembly, the prisons, commercial markets, the press. He has good plans for all these places, the political parties and schools. So I'm asking, in your view, what do you feel about Taib al-Mahdi? Does he use his power well, or he doesn't? Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you like it, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and also watch these other videos. Always welcome to wekati.blogspot.com for many insightful literature material.